He said, they shall build, but I will throw down. And they shall call, it shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever. That's righteous anger, man. The Lord got righteous anger against them forever. So they're not gonna keep going. This society is not gonna keep going, right? This is Psalms. This is Psalms 49 and 11. It says, their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names. So Esau's inward thought, the Lord said what they build, he gonna knock down. But they inward thought is that all this stuff they build gonna live, it's gonna be here forever, and they're gonna actually be able to wheel it down to their grandkids and their great grandkids. They think they're gonna actually be able to wheel it all down to them. But it's not gonna be like that. The Lord say gonna tear it down. Right?
Right.
And it says their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations after them. So they think when they die, it's gonna be to their kids. Their kids gonna actually get to have it. And then their kids gonna get to have it, right? It says they call the lands after their own names. When Esau conquers a land, he named it after himself. That's why Africa is named after Scipio Africanus. Leo Scipio Africanus. You know, Leo Scipio Asiaticus. You come on to the States, you have towns like Jacksonville, Jonestown, Jamestown. These are named after these Edomites, man. They name the towns after themselves, man. Every time you look around, Clinton Boulevard, you know, Jack Parr Street, JFK, you know, names like that. You know, Washington Avenue. You got streets, sometimes they'll do all the presidents, man. In my hometown, you got Van Buren, all the presidents, Harrison Street, Washington, Jefferson. You got Lincoln Drive. They name it after them, man. But the Lord said He gonna tear it down. He said the border of wickedness, the people against the Lord. It says they shall build, but I will throw it down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, man. Everywhere Esau go, man, there's wickedness everywhere. He bring wickedness, man. He bring wickedness and he bring evil everywhere he goes. Everywhere he goes, man. This so-called white man brings evil, man. You know? And it tells you in the Maccabees. I'm gonna read this. This is First Maccabees. First Maccabees. I'll just start up top. It says, and it happened after that Alexander, son of Philip. Alexander, right? The great so-called white man, right? This is the beginning of so-called white civilization. There, you know, they said the civilization started with the Greeks, but it wasn't a civilization for the Israelites. It was a civilization for these Edomites. And they started taking over and they started ruling. They became powerful, conquering the world. It says, And it happened that Alexander, the son of Philip, the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Shittim, had smitten Darius, king of Persia, and the Medes, and had reigned in his stead, the first over Greece. So Alexander and them knocked down the Persians, right? Conquered the Persians, and made many wars, and won many strongholds, and slew the kings of the earth. And them Persians was cold, man. They had good archers and everything. Like when they used to go to battle, when they shot their arrows, they say the whole sky got dark. That's how many arrows they were shooting. But the Lord at that particular time put the spirit on Alexander. It was just time for the Edomites to rule. So he put the spirit on Alexander, and them Edomites to take down the Persians.
That remind me of 300.
Yeah, 300. So the Lord's, that was the Lord's will. It says, verse 3, and went through the ends of the earth and took spoils of many nations. So he went through rape, robbing, and pillaging, man. It says, in so much that the earth was quiet before him, whereupon he was exalted and his heart was lifted up. So he was exalted and he was lifted up, so he was a proud man for what he had done. He had a proud spirit. And he gathered a mighty strongholds and ruled over countries and nations and kings, and became tributaries unto him. So he had people paying tributaries. He had servants, right? It says, verse 5, and after these things he fell sick and perceived that he should die. Wherefore he called his servants, such as were honorable and had been brought up with him from his youth, and parted his kingdom among them while he was yet alive. Right? So Alexander reigned 12 years and then died, and his servants bare rule, every one his place. And after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves. So did their sons after them many years, and evils were multiplied in the earth. So evils multiplied in the earth, man, when they took over. You know? And them guys that took over, those were his generals, man. Lysimachus, Cassandra, Ptolemy, and Seleucus. Right. And when they all took over, it said evils multiplied in the earth. Because they call them in Malachi the border of wickedness. So everywhere they go, man, it's evil. Yeah, and it said multiplied in the earth, man, when they took over. We already had evil going, but it multiplied with the Edomites, man. So that's why we know him to be the devil, man. Devil meaning what? Deceiver. Who does that fit? So-called white man. You know? Job 9. This is Job. The book of Job. Book of Job 9 and 24. It says the earth is given unto the hands of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? I'll read that again. It says, Job 9 and 24 says the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. Who are the wicked? Who rule everything? The so-called white men. Right. It just told you that evils multiplied in the earth when those Grecians took over, which are the so-called white men, so-called white people, man. Evils multiplied in the earth. They run things right now. You know, the so-called Jews, man, the gutter rats, man. These people, right? I might have them on the sign back here. Block it. I do. These people right here, man. These are the people that's running everything, man. Them people, them gutter rats, man. They running everything. Right? That's who running everything. They own the Diamond District. They own all the radio, air, music, They own everything, man. They own all the water, transportation on water, the rail, the air, by sea.
Michigan water is the shore, from what I heard.
They own everything, man. They own everything. The earth is given to the hands of the wicked. If it ain't him, who is it? That's the Lord being sarcastic. If it's not him, then who is it, man? We want to know, who is it if it ain't him? You know? This is Romans, the book of Romans. Book of Romans 9, and I started 9. It says, "For this is the word of promise. At this time will I come, and Sarah shall have a son. And not only this, but when Rebekah also had received one, even by our father Isaac." Right? Because she bore kids from Isaac. We went over that already in Genesis. "For the children being not yet born, neither having done any good or evil, that the purpose of God according to election might stand, not of works, but of him that calleth." So the kids are in their womb, they ain't done nothing. They don't even know they about to be born. They ain't done no good, no evil. Verse 12, "It was said unto her that the elder shall serve the younger." Verse 13, "As it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated." And that goes back to what? The one we've seen in Malachi. Paul is reiterated right here in Romans. Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. It says, "What shall we say then?" Right? It says, "Is there unrighteousness with God?" So what they saying, is there unrighteousness with God? Is he unjust? Is he really violating? Is the Lord like, is he like morally wrong? Full of wrongfulness? Is that what they, is the Lord like that? It says, "God forbid." Meaning at least not. Meaning like basically like hell no. It says, verse 15, "For he said to Moses, I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy. I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion." So the Lord say, I'm gonna show mercy, meaning what? I'm gonna show love and kindness to who I want to show love and kindness to. He said, I'm going to have compassion, meaning pity, on who I want to have pity on. Who are you to tell the Lord what to do? Right. It says, verse 16, "So then it is not of him that willeth, nor of him that runneth, but of the Most High that showeth mercy." You know? It's not up to our desires, right? It's not up to what you do, your works, right? It ain't got nothing to do with what you desire, what I desire, or what the next man desire, or what he show his work to be. It's up to the Lord who will it. Because the Lord made that election before the kids even came out the womb, who was going to be the chosen. He also did it with the elect too, the 144,000. He also did it with them also. I'm going to get that. In Ephesians, the book of Ephesians, chapter 1, start at verse 3. "Blessed be the God and Father of our Lord Yahushua Mashiach, who have blessed us with spiritual blessings in heavenly places in a Mashiach." You know, So blessed meaning be what? He's worthy of being worthy of praise, man. You know? It says, blessed be the God and Father of our Lord Yahushua Mashiach, who have blessed us with all spiritual blessings. Spiritual blessings go to who? The believers. He's not going to give spiritual blessings to the unbelievers.
Right.
2/3 of our people are unbelievers. The other nations are unbelievers. That's why the Lord didn't choose them other nations. Right?
Right.
Chose Israel. He chose an elect. It says, according as he have chosen, he have chosen us in him before the foundations of the world. Foundation. Let me go. I'm gonna look that up.